Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews and Off Times Reminisces. I've had a request. They come rarely, so I always try to honour them when they do, from the unknown, or mysterious, who's requested Dødheimsgard, who have a new album out, and hopefully a video of their single on YouTube, which we're going to listen to very, very shortly. Now, Dødheimsgard is a band I know of, and I have a couple of albums of theirs from way back when, Satanic Art and 666 International, is it? Something like that. And at the time, they were very dependent on mood as to whether I enjoyed them or not, because I was really riding on the crest of speed and intensity back then. So this band were about to go on a bit of a wibble wobble into other things and expand their minds and include lots of other genres. So it'll be interesting to see what they sound like now. And I have a very distant memory of what they sounded like then, to be honest. I want to refresh my memory a little bit maybe before listening to this to make a comparison, but I haven't. I'm not going to. We'll just crack on with listening to this from their new album. Okay, so first impressions, very positive. I think I'm more accepting now of diverse. That's probably. I've always been accepting diverse music, but when I expect a certain sound from a certain band, I'm more accepting nowadays of lots of variation within that music, if that makes sense. So far with this, I don't like making comparisons between other bands, but if I had to, so far, I would pitch this somewhere between Thorns meets Scorch. It's just changing, so we'll see what it's changing into, because my recollection from 666 International was that it was when the band was starting to go reaching out in all directions, so I expect this to perhaps... It's a long time ago, so I can't presume too much, but I expect it to go maybe a few changes in. But yes, oh yeah, and just then there was some familiar sort of classical black metal sort of melody in there. So, but yes, so far, woohoo. So I was expecting a foray into a totally different sort of music from the beginning, because that was what I expected from my last listen of them many years ago. And they haven't disappointed there, have they? So we're now into a section of, I don't know how you even describe it, to be honest, but it's more avant-garde, perhaps, sort of music, and a bit spacey, perhaps. But the question is it keeping me with it? And it is. It's interesting enough. I mean, I'm always a slave to rapid music, but I don't exclusively listen to rapid music. So when something subsides from the fairly pokey beginning there into something more subdued, it has to have a little bit of a shine to it that, and I don't mean in the literal sense, but something that keeps me with it, something that can, stick its little claws into me still and keep me there. And this section is still doing it, so we can all be happy still, can't we? This sort of takes me back a bit. I don't mean back to their old albums, I mean way back. If you took away the growly vocals there, I could be in my early childhood listening to something on the TV that sort of in the late 60s, early 70s. It sounds very much like part of a theme or soundtrack to some sort of drama from those days of any sort of genre, but perhaps more the more futuristic drama from those. But yes, we are into more progressive territory here, and so far we're still along with it. So no complaints. Not that my complaint would have any value for any of the people that like Dødheimsgard anyway, but it's nice to be able to show solidarity with those that already like this band. One last comment before I let it run to the end. Yeah, I've got over just over a minute and a half to go, under a minute and a half to go. Unless things change significantly and take me by surprise. But I'm reminded now a little bit of Hawkwind insofar as their sort of trippy, not quite the trance music that Hawkwind make, but the trippy sort of stuff they do and interject into their music. So there's that, I'm going to say cheesy, that cheesy sort of spacey motif going on here as well. I say cheesy because it's used quite commonly in low budget sci-fi stuff. So it's not a derogatory term I'm using there. It's just a descriptive of what it reminds me of in other media. So this is certainly music, I think, for headphones and a darkened room, for me anyway, personally, or at the very least while I'm listening to something else. I'll be interested to see if there's any punchier stuff on the album, which I will have a listen to after this, but I'm enjoying it. That's the main thing. When I said not quite like Hawkwind's trancey stuff, it's just proved me wrong now. There's nothing wrong with going a bit Tangerine Dream, I suppose. So there you go. I didn't know what to expect after all these years, but I wasn't disappointed. It was familiar in the sense of that's what they were starting to do last time I heard them, and it is something a music for me for a certain mood. So I would listen to it perhaps just before bedtime. I tend to listen to an album just before I go to sleep, which tends to send me to sleep. And this would be ideal for that sort of thing, or something playing in the background as I'm doing other things. I'm not one for listening to that sort of music when I am paying total attention to it, shall we say. But I'll have a listen to the rest of the album, because there are elements of that fill me full of nostalgia, elements that tickle me, and elements like the very beginning that bring me full of joy, make me full of joy. So interesting, very interesting. It is one of those songs, and presumably the album will be the same, that you may have to listen to 2 or 3 times just for it to start to imprint, and for you to pick up all the nuances and the things that you go, oh yes, and that is the case with lots of things for me. So but there you go, folks, an original reaction. I don't do pure reactions very often, so there you go, there's one of them. And colour me happy, because it was interesting and quirky, and it ticks quite a few boxes really. So I'm happy with that. Anyway, clicky bollocks. Catch you next time. Cheerio.